We've got 1 week to go until the Republican National Convention, and the Trump campaign says that a VP pick could be announced at any time.
This time next Monday, we will know who President Trump has selected as his running mate for the 2024 election.
California Republican Congressman Darrell Issa joins us now from Capitol Hill. Congressman, it's great to have you today. Thank you for being here. Want to know who you think the former president will choose and what he needs to add to his ticket and why.
Well, thank you, Jackie, and thanks for having me on. The fact is, President Trump doesn't need anyone to win. He's ahead in the polls. What he needs, though, is he needs a vice president who can be prepared to be president on day one. That's the reason that his final three candidates that are being floated are all exactly that. They're people who are well respected, that we know could take over the job if necessary. But also, quite frankly, President Trump used his former vice president heavily to launch the Space Force and for other jobs, and I would expect he'll do the same with this vice president. The conventional wisdom always is that the vice president has to bring a state. In the case of President Trump, that's not necessary.
Yeah, and Congressman, I guess it's a little bit tough because who knows at this point who former President Trump may be facing. So I got to ask you, I mean, what a day to come back from the holiday recess. I can only imagine the chatter is very loud in those halls there. So what's it like right now on Capitol Hill with everything that's going on?
Well, everybody's opened up the Constitution, looked at the 25th Amendment thoroughly because it's being bantied around by our Democrat colleagues as likely at this point because of the fact that the president, as he has not been for most of the 3.5 years, isn't capable of being the commander-in-chief. However, to answer your question, look, we're going to face the Biden-Harris team. We're going to face a Democrat Party who likes the way things have been done the last 3.5 years and will campaign on the record of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. And that's what President Trump is running against. That's what he's coming to office to quite frankly, roll back to the Trump agenda that worked so well, that gave us the best economy we'd had and the lowest gas prices in decades.
You mentioned the 25th Amendment, Congressman. I know the House Republican Conference is going to meet to talk about that tomorrow. You said a lot of Democrats are talking about it as well. Is that going anywhere, or is that just flaring up and it's going to flare out just as quickly?
Well, candidly, I think there's a negotiation going on with the vice president who's key to the 25th Amendment. It'll be her decision about whether to admit the infirmity of the president, something that she and, quite frankly, a lot of mainstream media have hidden for 3.5 years, but they can no longer hide. That's a decision they have to make. Will they do their constitutional duty that they should have done, quite frankly, practically on day one? Or will they continue to pretend that the president just has bad days now and again?
It's a good question. A lot remains to be seen. I think it's going to be an interesting week, Congressman, as we go into the RNC to see what both sides do here. Thank you so much for your insight today.
Look forward to Milwaukee.
There you go.